it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets, and here is the third installment of Sketch Sundays. I wanted to show you the sketch and some of the supplies that I think I'm going to be using. This is a little bit different. I'm actually going to try to make the card on camera. We'll see how well this goes. I normally don't do this. I did pre-cut a couple of things, so I'm going to go over everything and then we're going to get to work on the card. So the first thing I want to show you is where I got the sketch from, and it's from starrynightsdiva.hubpages.com, and I'll put a link to that below, but I wanted to show you guys the sketch. It's this one right here with all the squares. So there's the sketch, and then I'm going to show you the supplies that I used. I used two different stamp sets. I used the Lawn Fawn Lucky Stars. I'm going to use the sentiment, I heart you to the stars and back. And then I also used a Simon Says Stamp exclusive, Labeled with Love, this repeating X and O's. Is that. Used some Stays On Jet Black ink. The distress inks that I think I'm going to be using are Salty Ocean, Broken China, Faded Jeans, and Chipped Sapphire. And for the very background of the card, we're going to be using the Falling Star stencil. So depending on how you hold it, there's more stars and then it cascades down to hardly any. So the last thing, there was like a ribbon on the bottom. I have some of this twine from Recollections. We're going to see if it looks okay. Might not need anything on the bottom because the stars are going to be the whole background. The background just looks plain on this, but I wanted to do a star background. And then I also plan on using these Red Studio G glitter glue to color in the heart because I think I'm going to stamp it in Stays On Jet Black ink. So let's get started. First thing I want to show you before I move you down to the desk is I cut out, I forgot to tell you, I used 4 of the thin dies. This is the size. It's the third smallest from, these are the square dies from Nestabilities. So what I did was I took the XOXO stamp from that Simon Says stamp set and just stamped them, repeating all over the back. And I did that 3 times, so I'm going to do the last one, and then we will get started on the rest of the card, doing the background. So here it is. Hopefully you guys can see this. So I always have a scratch piece of paper underneath this, and I usually use an old mouse pad just to give the stamp a little bit of cushion. I find that I get a better impression that way. So I'm going to ink up my stamp with some Stays On Jet Black ink. And then I'm lining it up. I'm kind of pushing it off the edge a little bit. And stamping down. And hopefully I get a nice impression. It's a little bit light, so I'm going to try it again. I think my Stays On is kind of drying up. I think I need to get a re-inker for this. So it's a little bit of a shadow effect, but I may be able to hide some of this. I know that people say that, nice thing about clear stamps is you can get it all to line up again. I don't know. I never can get a really, really precise lineup. Maybe I just don't take my time. I don't know. But then I flipped the stamp over so that the pattern would continue. X's and O's. Okay. So I'll put that to the side, clean that off. And then there's my 4th panel with the X's and O's on it. So I'll put those to the side. And the next thing that I want to do is work on the background. So I already cut the card base down, and it's going to be a 5x7 card, and I want it to, it's going to be a side folding card. So what I want to do is I actually want to start at the bottom of the paper because I want to do the lightest color first, and I want to work my way up to the darkest, but I don't want to contaminate it because I'm going to use the same little sponge dauber for all of the blues. So probably, I'm just going to try to hold it in place. Hopefully it should work. Actually going to put it down a little bit. So some of the stars are kind of off the page. Okay. All right, so here's my little sponge dauber. These are from Sukaneko. I'm going to start with some Salty Ocean. Probably put a little bit too much of that on there. And just try and do the bottom layer of the card. And just go over it. You can twist it and put the color in there. I'm just going to try to do some of the stars. This part is a little bit messy. Then I'm going to go into the broken china, and these will mix on my ink pads, and as long as, or on the sponge dauber, and as long as you go lightest to darkest, it shouldn't cross-contaminate your ink pads. I'm going to do 4 colors. You can twist it or dab it on. If I need to go back and add some more color, I can. And I'm going to go into Faded Jeans. Oops. And these last few ink pads are a little bit older. The last two, the one that I just used, the Broken China and the Faded Jeans. So, seeing that they're a little bit older, they're probably a little bit more dried out. So, probably need to grab some more of that color. Okay, and now what I want to do is lift up my stencil real quick, and you can see there's a little bit of variation in the colors. What I want to do is just wipe off this real quick. Okay, and then let's see if I can place it down so that none of the stars are overlapping. So I'm going to have the darkest stars at the top fading down to hopefully the lighter color. Cap back on this. And the nice thing about these sponge daubers is that they're totally washable, and you can, all the color washes out. So you can actually, if you're using this one for blue and you need it for pink later on, just wash the top off and you can use it. Use it for different colors. Okay, so here's my starry background. So I'm going to lift this up and put this to the side so I can wash it off. Okay, so my background is complete. So it didn't take too long, right? It is. I'm just going to try to make sure there's no color because I don't want any distressed ink on the back of my card. Lift this washi tape up. So then the next thing that I want to do is I want to try to take my X's and O's, because I'm going to try to place them on here and just see how they're going to go together. All right. That's X's. Okay. So then it's going to go like this, and then you're going to have one more panel, and it's going to go right here in the middle like that. So, okay. So the next thing that I want to do is take this stamp. I'm going to want to ink it up with some jet black ink. Just trying to line it up, get it straight. My mat. Okay, and I've never used this stamp before, so when I use a brand new stamp, what I've learned is that you kind of have to prime the stamps because they won't always stamp really well the first time. So I like to ink them up pretty good and stamp it. See, it kind of sticks and it kind of came out grayish. So ink it up again. Came out a little bit better. I think it's ready to stamp. So, get my last piece. Ink this up really, really well. I don't have to worry about the heart because I'm going to be coloring that in with the glitter glue, just to give it a little bit more dimension. If you hear that noise in the background, that's my cat. He's freaking out. Sorry about that. Okay. So here's this. And I think what I want to do is go around the edges of these pieces with the little sponge dauber and just put a little bit of color on them. So maybe they stand out a little bit more. If you're wondering, that's Fred, not Lucy. Lucy's sitting in my windowsill. I'll have to give you guys a tour of the new craft room. It's almost done. I have a couple more things that I need to do. The desktop needs to be cleaned off a little bit, and there's some more I have paper storage issues, but other than that, the room is pretty much coming together very nicely. So in the windowsill, I had boxes over there before, and now I cleared it off and I put an old comforter up there. So that's where my one cat Lucy is laying. And she likes it because there's a nice cross breeze in here. So, and she likes to be nosy and look outside and see everyone. Let's see, one more piece. Okay. And if any of you guys are interested in participating and, you know, making your own cards and following the sketches, please feel free to, and leave, you know, if you want to leave pictures or links to where you've left it in a blog or anything like that, it would be great. I would love to see what you guys have created with the sketch. And like I said, most of these sketches are not going to be my own. It's going to be something that I found off of the internet. Every once in a while, I will have a sketch that I've come up with, but lately I've been a little lazy and haven't been designing too much. I've been just looking on the internet for different sketches because there's so many of them, especially on Pinterest. If you go on there, there's a ton of things on there. Okay, so all 5 pieces now have a little bit of blue around the edge. So done with that. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to do it like this. I think I might want to do it like that and actually make it the card go like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. That way I don't need a ribbon or anything at the bottom. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take some of my Zig 2-way glue pen. This one is almost out of glue. Gonna dab some dots on there. Just trying to line it up, get them straight, as straight as possible. Actually, I think I messed up. Yeah, I need that one to come in a little bit more. Hopefully you guys can see this. More than that. Yes, I should have positioned these out first before I started gluing them down, huh? That would have been smart. you go. Almost done. And I love being able to use stamp sets that are meant for one occasion for different things. Like these XOXO, they are part of a Valentine's Day stamp, and this is not a Valentine's Day card, so. Okay, so the last thing that I want to do is add just a teeny tiny bit more color. I'm going to use some red stickles. I'm actually going to, there's a little bit, all right. This wasn't used in a while, so I wanted to make sure that it was all the glitter and the glue that was coming out and nothing else. So just added a little bit of red to the card, and there you have it. There's the final card. That is the third installment of Sketch Sundays. So again, if you guys are participating, feel free to leave links below to your projects that use this sketch or any of the other sketches that I've done in the past. And if you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye!